to talk about Sheriff David Clarke. Seems like we want to talk about Sheriff David Clarke a lot. But,
he's in the news a lot these
He's
days.
in the news a lot. But there's a group that is trying to persuade him to run for Senate. So what's going on with that?
It's a group, it's 8 people who are all affiliated with Trump, ranging from Dog the Bounty Hunter and his wife to this guy named Jack Daly, who was a fundraiser for the Trump campaign. And they've set up an elaborate website. They registered with the federal government, and they've been, it looks like, raising lots of money and trying to encourage people to get Sheriff Clarke to run. And they've used some incendiary language about Tammy Baldwin, who he would be running against, and focusing primarily on the fact that she's lesbian. I think there are 4 or 5 references to that on their website. And she, as most politicians would do, has already started raising money off that. She sent out a fundraiser saying, look, they're already attacking me, and please give me $5 to $10 to help me oppose this effort.
Mary, how have Democrats reacted to this entreaty, and how has Baldwin reacted?
I think that Democrats are rightfully nervous about the upcoming elections, given what we've seen in Wisconsin with the Republican wave. I think that they know that Republicans are gunning for Tammy Baldwin's seat. It'll be interesting to see who decides to run. Obviously, Sheriff Clarke is very popular among conservatives, Fox News crowd. I would say he's really popular out of state. I don't know how popular he is in Milwaukee County.
Well, we do know now.
Well, yes, not very, apparently. And
what's the approval rating? 30%?
You just wrote a story about it.
His approval rating, according to the PPP poll, is around 31% among all people in Milwaukee County, 13% among Democrats, and it's a little bit weird because he runs as a Democrat here, though everyone knows he's actually a Republican.
And Sean Duffy, the congressman from northern Wisconsin, is one of those who's considering a run, it appears to be.
His name keeps coming up. Eric Hovde's name has come up.
Kevin Nicholson, who's a Marine and businessman, he's likely to run. The question is Sheriff Clarke on board with this effort? And he's not said anything so far. He's not indicated anything about this. Apparently he's friends with some of the people doing this, but he's not said yes or no. He's backing this effort. So, I mean, it could be just a group trying to raise money off his name, create a voter list off his name, or, it might actually be earnestly trying to raise money. They doubled down on the attacks on her for being lesbian, saying until she says she's not one, we don't see why we shouldn't be criticizing her for being her sexual orientation is fair game.
And isn't she usually called like a radical left-wing lesbian? Isn't
extremist,
that
whatever. It's all extremist lesbian, radical lesbian, whatever. So,
let's talk about the sort of dynamic going on here. Donald Trump won the state. First time a Republican has won the state since '84.
Which they keep on saying a Republican Trump-controlled state like Wisconsin should not have someone like Tammy Baldwin represented in the Senate.
But could not David Clarke, running as sort of a Trump kind of character politically, maybe pull off the same thing? Is that what they're thinking?
I'm still wagering that he takes a job in the Trump administration. Right. So I think that's where he's going. Could he? I mean, that's an interesting thing. From what I understand, I was told by a Republican strategist last week that the other candidates thinking about running are taking this into consideration because he would be especially tough in a primary. It would be hard for him to win in a general election, but, as you said, he might be able to do it. But in a primary, he could create all types of havoc, I think. And he's become.
He's not shy about voicing his opinions on Twitter, for example.
Right.
So he might be vocal about his opponents.
He does seem to be characterizing himself as kind of a Trump kind of character. It's an interesting approach.
I think he'd be very popular in the wild counties in Waukesha, Ozaukee, and Washington counties,
and outstate,
and beyond our state. I mean, I just wrote a piece about how much outside income he took in last year, and when you count speaking fees, gifts, travel reimbursement, lodging, all that, it comes to $220,000 last year, which is, much more than what he makes as a sheriff.